Blue suns and purple trees upon the wall. No lines to hold the spirit standing tall. A finger painted heaven in the hall before the shadows of the reason start to fall. Every crayon was a scepter in the hand, building empires out of glitter and the sand. The world was just a canvas wide and free in the beautiful logic of the used to be. It's a quiet vibration, a shift in the light when the colors of the morning turn to black and white. The clock starts ticking and the boxes grow small, and we start to hang the proper pictures on the wall. Every child is an artist, baby, don't you know? With a fire in the heart and a technicolor glow. But the problem is to climb the heavy, dusty road. How to keep the magic in the adult code. Yeah, how to stay a dreamer when the gray sets in, and keep the art alive beneath the older skin. The jazz is in the wonder, the funk is in the play, fighting off the dullness of the everyday. They give you a suit and they give you a tie, and tell you not to look at the velvet sky. But the masterpiece is breathing in the dark, waiting for the memory to find the spark. It's a revolution in a world of must and should, to stay a little wild and stay a little good. You know, we spend the first half of our lives learning the rules, how to stay inside the lines, how to be serious. But Picasso, he knew the real secret of the groove. The genius isn't in growing up, the genius is in growing down. Reaching back through the years to that kid with the messy hands, the one who didn't care if the sun was green. The problem isn't the talent, the problem is the armor we put on. Take off the tie, pick up the brush. Don't let the adult kill the creator. With a fire in the Zoomed in tight on the tear in the eye. Under the spotlight, a heavy-hearted sigh. Every crack in the pavement, a canyon of grief. Searching for meaning, searching for relief. The camera's so close, you can feel the sting of the salt and the sorrow that the minutes bring. A Shakespearean drama in a 5-inch frame, where the world is a fire and you're the flame. It's a quiet vibration, a pull on the gears, washing the makeup away from the years. The lens starts to widen, the edges get soft, lifting the heavy weight high and aloft. It's a tragedy in close-up, baby, don't you know? A heavy-handed drama in the front row show. But it's a comedy in long shot, looking from afar. A little bit of irony underneath the star, yeah. Pull back the frame till the tears disappear, and the rhythm of the punchline is all that you hear. The funk is in the distance, the jazz is in the view. Looking at the world from a mile or two. The tiny little figures dancing on the street, chasing the shadows with their frantic feet. From the top of the hill, the slip and the fall is just a little stumble in the grand scale ball. The slip on the peel, the pie in the face. Everything's funnier in the open space. You know, when you're right up against it, it feels like the end of the world. The broken heart, the empty wallet, the not quite right. It's heavy, it's loud, it's a tragedy. But Charlie, you knew the secret of the lens. You gotta pull the camera back, way back. Past the street, past the city, past the clouds from up there. All that noise just sounds like a symphony. All those mistakes, they're just slapstick. Don't zoom in too far, keep the frame wide. It's a lot easier to dance when you're laughing. It's a tragedy in close-up, baby, don't you know? A heavy-handed drama in the front row show. But it's a comedy in long shot, looking from afar. A little bit of irony underneath the stars. In this lo-fi space, we find the all, standing steady, standing tall. The distance is the mercy, baby. Let it roll. Not a tragedy, just a long shot. Keep laughing. The headlines scream about the now and the new, chasing the glitter in the morning dew. But I'm looking at the roots deep under the ground, in the quiet places where the value is found. It's a vintage record with a timeless sound, while the plastic hits are nowhere to be found. Quality is a rhythm that doesn't need to haste, in a world that's addicted to the hurry and the waste. It's a quiet vibration, a long distance run, watching the shadows in the setting sun. The clock isn't a judge, it's a natural law. You exposing the beauty and the hidden flaw. Time is the friend of the wonderful baby, the one who stays cool when the world goes crazy. But it's the enemy of the mediocre line, the ghost in the clock, the thief in the design. Yeah, let the years roll by like a velvet stream, separating the truth from the hollow dream. The funk is in the patience, the jazz is in the stay, while the average player just fades away. If you're built on the sand, then the tide is a threat. But if you're built on the stone, you haven't seen nothing yet. Mediocre is a mask that the minutes will peel, revealing the hollow beneath the ideal. But the wonderful thrives in the passage of the light, growing more brilliant in the middle of the night. You know, everyone's afraid of getting old, afraid of the calendar, the gray hair, the ticking hand. But if you're building something real, something wonderful, then every second is an ally. It's the compound interest of the soul. Time is just a filter. It washes away the noise and leaves the gold. If you're just okay, the clock is coming for you. But if you're great, well, the clock is just your backup band. Let it play. Time is the friend of the wonderful baby. Time is the friend, the one who stays cool when the world goes crazy. But it's the enemy of the mediocre line, the ghost in the clock, the thief in the design. In this lo-fi space we finally all standing steady, standing tall. The years are the proof, baby, let it roll. Enemy of the average. Let time tell the story. The shadows are long and the spirit is thin, wondering where the struggle should end and begin. The door is right there and the key's in your hand, ready to walk from the shifting sand. It's easy to fade, it's easy to go, to let the fire settle to a quiet cold glow. We call it a rest, we call it a day, but the shadow of quit is a heavy price to pay. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the heart, before you pull the whole world apart. The weakness isn't the stumble or the fall, it's the moment you decide to give up on it all. Try just one more time, baby, don't you see? That's the golden law of the victory. The greatest weakness is the white flag in the air, but the strength is the rhythm of the still standing there. Yeah, the most certain way, the only way to find, is to leave the thought of leaving far behind. The jazz is in the grip, the funk funk is in the try, looking at the moon in the velvet sky. You've done the work, you felt the burn, but there's always one more corner left to turn. Success isn't a flash or a sudden light, it's the stubbornness to stay through the middle of the night. Just one more session, one more beat between the cold silence and the victory sweet. You know, we think the end is a wall. We think when we're tired, that's the universe telling us to stop. But Edison, he knew the secret of the groove. He knew that the biggest mistake isn't being wrong. It's being finished before you're done. The weakness is the giving up. That's the only place where the music truly stops. But if you can find one more breath, one more attempt, one more shot at the moon, that's when the lock finally clicks. Just one more time. The golden law of the victory. The greatest weakness is the white flag in the air, but the strength is the rhythm of the still standing there. One more time, yeah. Don't give up now. More time in this lo-fi space. More time, we find the all. Standing steady, standing tall. The certainty is in the try, baby. First step, don't let go. The city lights are blurred in the window pane, while I'm playing chess in the pouring rain. It's a long road through the shadows and the gray, with a heavy price that the losers have to pay. I've walked the wire and I've crossed the line, in the cold architecture of a grand design. Some call it hollow, some call it cruel, but I'm the one who's rewriting the rule. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the soul, keeping my eyes on the ultimate goal. The path was jagged and the bridges are burned, but look at the kingdom that I finally earned. The ends justify the means, baby, can't you see? It's the cold, hard logic of a victory. Don't ask about the shadows or the ways I move, when the final picture is already proved. Yeah, the destination is the only thing real, no matter the scars or the things I had to steal. Jazz is in the silence, the funk is in the play, making the difficult choices along the way. If the harvest is gold and the soil doesn't matter, let the critics and the moralists just chatter. A little bit of darkness for a whole lot of light. Winning the war in the middle of the night. You can't stay clean in a world built of stone if you wanna sit on the highest throne. You know, people like to talk about the right way. They like to judge the steps before they see the result. But nobody remembers the struggle once the trophy is home. They don't see the sweat, the secrets, the unpleasant things. They only see the crown. They only see the win. Machiavelli knew the rhythm. If the world is yours at the end of the day, does it really matter how you got the key? I didn't think so. Just watch the finish line. The ends justify the means, baby, can't you see? It's the cold hard logic of the victory. Don't ask about the shadows or the ways I moved when the final picture is already proved. Yeah, look at the prize, don't look back, stay in the groove. In this lo-fi space, we find the all standing steady, standing tall. The result is the answer, baby. Let it roll. The ends justify the means. It's mine. The clock is spinning on the cafe wall, while shadows stretch and the curtains fall. He's waiting for a sign, waiting for the moon, humming a melody way out of tune. He says, I'll do it when the stars align. I'll move the mountain in a little time. But the season changes and the coffee's cold, and the same old story's getting very old. It's a quiet vibration, a shift in the air, between the right now and the anywhere. The finish line is the same for everyone, but the race is over before he's begun. The wise man does it once, baby, don't you see? Catching the rhythm of his own destiny. The fool does it finally when the lights go low, missing the heat and the initial glow. Yeah, it's the same old story, the same old scene, but the wise man lives in the space between. The jazz is in the action, the funk is in the start. Listen to the engine of a hungry heart, while the other man is busy overthinking the play. The winner's already 1,000 miles away, compiling excuses in a velvet pile. Walk in a circle with a heavy, slow smile. One man makes history, the other makes a list of all the golden moments that he's already missed. You know, we all end up in the same place eventually. We all face the task, we all face the music. But there's a heavy tax on hesitation. The fool thinks he's being careful, but he's really just paying for the time he's losing. The wise man knows the groove doesn't wait for the perfect moment. The moment is the groove. Don't be the one who does it when the party's over. Do it now, while the bass is still deep. catching the rhythm of his own destiny. The fool does it finally when the lights go low, missing the heat and the initial glow. In this lo-fi space, we find the awe, standing steady, standing tall. The timing is the treasure, baby. Let it roll at once, not finally. The first beat. One finger tapping on a cold glass pane, one lonely rhythm in the pouring rain. I'm building a castle out of sand and pride, with nowhere to go and nowhere to hide. You can carry the weight, you can pull the load, on a long dark stretch of a private road. But the house is quiet and the air is thin, when there's nobody else to let the light in. It's a quiet vibration, a solitary beat, echoing alone on a dead-end street. A single spark in a world so wide, with the power of the ocean locked inside. Alone we can do so little, baby, don't you see? Struggling against the tides of gravity, but together we can do so much. Yeah, it's true. The magic starts when I'm standing next to you. It's the common chord, it's the shared design, where your heartbeat starts to move with mine. Jazz is in the blend, finding the beginning where the limits end. One voice is a whisper, a ghost in the hall, but 1,000 voices can break down the wall. We're weaving the colors, we're stacking the stone, building something greater than we've ever known. The harmony's heavy, the rhythm is deep, and the beautiful promises we finally keep. You know, we're taught to be self-made, to stand alone, to be the island, to hold it all up on our own shoulders. But look at the music. The trumpet can play a beautiful line, but it needs the bass to give it a home. It needs the drums to give it a heart. Helen knew the secret. She lived in the silence until she felt the touch of another hand. That's when the world opened up. We're just fragments until we collide. Stop trying to do it all by yourself. Join the groove. the tides of gravity, but together we can do so much. Yeah, it's true. The magic starts when I'm standing next to you. So much together, so much together. In this lo-fi space we find it all. Standing steady, standing tall. The power is in the we, baby. Let it roll. So little alone, so much together. The common chord.
Check the list and check the time, keeping every gear in the perfect line, polishing the silver till the edges shine, staying in the box, feeling just fine. Efficiency is a beautiful sound, watching the wheels go round and round, but a perfect engine in a hollow shell is just a story with nothing to tell. It's a quiet vibration, a shift in the view between the old rhythm and the something new. The clock tells you how the seconds are spent, but the heart asks where the energy went. Management's doing things right, baby, yeah. Keeping the tempo in the cool night air. But leadership is doing the right things, you see. The vision, the soul, and the geometry. Is the clock in the hand and the star in the eye, finding the truth underneath the sky. The funk is in the purpose, the jazz is in the choice, giving the silence a physical voice. You can run a race at a record pace and end up in a cold and a hollow place. If you don't know the shore, don't sail the ship. Don't let the wisdom start to lose its grip. The what is a shadow, the why is the light, moving the mountain in the middle of the night. You know, we get so obsessed with the how, the spreadsheets, the systems, the perfect little rows. We're so busy being efficient that we forget to be effective. Management, that's the science of the machine, doing the task right. But leadership, that's the art of the human, that's looking at the horizon and saying, wait, are we even on the right road? Don't just do it right, do the right thing. That's the real groove. Management is doing things right, baby, yeah. Keeping the tempo in the cool night air. But leadership is doing the right things, you see. The vision, the soul, and the geometry. In this lo-fi space, we find it all. Standing steady, standing tall. The vision is the anchor, baby. Let it roll. see the walls, I see the iron gate. I know the math, I know the heavy weight. The pavement's hard beneath my weary shoes. I've read the rules and I've paid my dues. Gravity is real, the rain is cold and gray. We're living in the structure of the everyday. Eyes wide open to the world as it is, a landscape of logic and a cold hard biz. It's a quiet vibration, a glitch in the gray, when the mind starts looking for a different way. Feet on the asphalt, head in the sun, thinking of the battles that have just begun. Be realistic, baby. Keep your feet on the floor, but demand the impossible. Knock on the sky's own door. Understand the limit, understand the line, then reach for the stars in a grand design. Yeah, walk through the fire, but keep your cool. Being a dreamer is the golden rule. Jazz is in the vision, the funk is in the feet. A building, a garden on a dead-end street. They say be humble, they say know your place, but I'm looking at the universe face to face. If you only ask for what's already there, you're breathing in the dust of a stale old air. Take the concrete, take the steel and stone, and build a miracle you've never known. You know, there's a trick to it. If you ignore the reality, you're just a ghost. You trip on the first stone you see. So look at the stone. See it for what it is. Know the physics, know the odds, but don't you dare let that stop the ass. Demand the logic to break, demand the miracle to show up. Be grounded enough to stand, and brave enough to ask for the moon. The impossible is just a possibility that hasn't found its rhythm yet. Be realistic, baby. Keep your feet on the floor, demand the impossible. Knock on the sky's own door. Understand the limit, understand the line, then reach for the stars in a grand design. In this lo-fi space, we find it all. Standing steady, standing tall. The impossible is the target, baby. The clock is ticking on the office wall, while shadows grow and the curtains fall. You're playing it safe in a house of glass, watching the beautiful seasons pass. A quiet life in a shade of gray, tucking the miracle far away. But a heart that's still is a heart that's cold, in a story that's never been truly told. It's a quiet vibration shifting the soul, between the fragment and the glorious whole. The wind is calling from the open door, asking if you're ready for something more. Life is a daring adventure, baby, don't you see? A wild kind of magic and a mystery.
leap of faith, it's the open sea, the only way to find out who you're meant to be. The funk is in the risk, the jazz is in the flight, into the neon and the velvet night. You don't need a map, you don't need a plan to reach for the world with a steady hand. The danger is sweet and the stakes are high, underneath the brilliant electric sky. Better to stumble on a mountain peak than to never find the power that you seek. You know, we spend so much time building walls. We look for the safe route, the sure thing. We hide from the wind because we're afraid to lose our hat. But Helen, she saw it clearly in the dark. She knew that security is a superstition. Life doesn't happen in the waiting room. It happens on the ledge. It happens in the yes. You've only got one spin on this record. Don't let it be a silent one. Make it daring. Make it everything. Is a daring adventure, baby, don't you see? A wild kind of magic and a mystery. Or it's nothing at all, just a breath in the rain, a hollow echo on a lonely plain. In this lo-fi space, we find the awe, standing steady, standing tall. The daring edge, baby, let it roll. Yeah, daring adventure, or nothing at all. The choice is yours.
The sun is hiding behind a wall of gray, just trying to survive the friction of the day. The wind is biting and the coffee's gone cold, living out a story that's already feeling old. Every step is heavy, every breath is a fight, searching for a flicker in the middle of the night. Yeah, the gravity is real and the spirit's getting thin, wondering if the sunlight's ever gonna let us in. It's a quiet vibration, a test of the soul, when you're losing your grip and you're losing control. The shadows are long and the mountain is steep, with promises of rest that we're struggling to keep. Today is cruel, baby, it's a jagged little pill. Tomorrow is crueler, standing on a darker hill. But don't you let go, don't you stop the flow, 'cause there's a secret rhythm that the winners know. The day after tomorrow is beautiful and bright, a golden vibration at the end of the night. Jazz is in the patience, the funk is in the grit. Watch watching all the people as they start to quit. Tomorrow's gonna hurt, it's gonna bring the rain, a double dose of static and a little more pain. Most people stop when the finish line is near, paralyzed by shadows and the rhythm of the fear. They die in the evening of the second long day, just a mile away from the light on the bay. You know, most people don't make it past the sunset of tomorrow. They see the storm getting darker, they feel the wind getting colder, and they say, that's enough, I'm done. But they don't see the sunrise waiting just around the bend. Tomorrow is the test, tomorrow is the fire. But if you can just breathe, if you can just keep the groove alive through the crueler hours, the day after that, man, it's like nothing you've ever seen. The colors, the air, the peace, it's beautiful. You just gotta stay in the song. Tomorrow is crueler, standing on a darker hill. But don't you let go, don't you stop the flow, 'cause the day after tomorrow is beautiful, you know. In this low-fi space we find the all standing steady, standing tall. The beauty is coming, baby, let it roll. The confetti's on the floor in the morning light, the echoes of the cheers from a long gone night. The trophies on the shelf shining bright and cold, a story of a victory that's already been told. It's easy to stay high when the sky is blue, drinking in the rhythm of a dream come true. But the view from the summit can be hazy and blind if you leave the shadows of the struggle behind. It's a quiet vibration, a shift in the view when the party is over and the music is through. The gold starts to flicker, the lights start to dim, and the real conversation is about to begin. It's fine to celebrate success, baby, raise a glass to the winner in the midnight air. But it's more important to listen to the rain, to heed the heavy lessons of the loss and the pain. Yeah, the win is a moment, a beautiful spark, but the maps are all drawn in the deep and the dark. The jazz is in the stumble, the funk is in the scar, knowing who you were before you were a star. Success is a teacher who tells you sweet lies, but failure looks you straight into your tired eyes. It tells you where the rhythm went a little bit wrong, it shows you how to write a much better song. Don't run from the error, don't hide from the crack, that's the only way to keep the vision on track. You know, everybody wants to stay in the win. They want the applause to last forever.
But Bill, he had the frequency right. Success. It's a nice party, it's a great feeling. But it doesn't teach you how to grow. It's the almost, the not yet, and the try again that actually build the soul. The trophy is just metal. But the lesson is the groove that stays with you. So, cheers to the win. But pay attention to the fall. Low, fast pace, we find the awe, standing steady, standing tall. The wisdom is the treasure, baby, let it roll. Celebrate the win, but study the fall, heed the lesson. Celebrate the win, but study the fall, heed the lesson. Steam rising from a ceramic cup. The sun is down but the heart is up. Walking through the haze of a quiet street, searching for the rhythm in the city's beat. It's not about the gold or the mountaintop, or the moment when the heavy engines stop. It's the secret fire in the back of the mind, the treasure that you're always about to find. It's a quiet vibration, the glitch in the gray, the reason we can face another long day. It's the light on the horizon, just out of reach, the silent lesson that the shadows teach. It's the possibility, baby, don't you see, of a dream coming true in the reality. That's what makes the story worth the price. That's the spark, that's the flavor, that's the spice. Yes, the could be, the maybe, the might, that makes life interesting in the middle of the night. The jazz is in the gamble, the funk is in the chase, finding the intrigue in the open space. If the wind was certain and the path was flat, there'd be no soul in a life like that. We need the mystery, we need the not yet, the silver lining on the silhouette, the thrill of the vision, the pull of the heart. The magic of the journey is the finest art. You know, if we knew the ending, we'd never read the book. If every wish came true the second we thought it, the world would lose its color, the coffee would go cold. But the alchemist, he knew the secret of the groove is the chance. The beautiful, terrifying, wonderful chance that one day you'll wake up and you'll be there. That maybe is the glue that maybe is what keeps the music playing. It's not the prize, it's the possibility. You see of a dream coming true in the reality. That's what makes the story worth the price. That's the spark, that's the flavor, that's the spice. In this lo-fi space, we find the awe, standing steady, standing tall. The what if is the treasure, baby, let it roll.
Sitting in the corner of a dim lit room, wrapping my fingers round a silent doom, thinking of your name, thinking of the dead, building up a fire I haven't finished yet. I'm rehearsing the words, I'm sharpening the stone, counting all the ways that I've been left alone. I got a heavy secret tucked inside my fist, waiting for the moment that can't be missed. It's a quiet vibration, a slow creeping heat, echoing the rhythm of the city street. The air is getting heavy, the smoke is getting thick, but the clock on the wall just continues to tick. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal, thinking I can throw it and stay in control. But while I'm aiming for a heart across the way, my own hand is turning into ash and gray. Yeah, I'm the one burning, I'm the one in pain, trying to wash away the fire with a drop of rain. The funk is in the friction, the jazz is in the scar, wondering exactly where the boundaries are. I thought the resentment was a weapon of choice, but it's stealing the music and it's stealing my voice. My palm is blistering, my spirit is tight, chasing a shadow through the middle of the night. You're miles away, probably fast asleep, while I'm drowning in the promises I tried to keep. You know, we think we're being tough. We think we're holding them accountable by staying mad. Like our anger is a cage we can put them in. But look at your hand. Really look at it. That coal. It doesn't care who you're mad at. It just knows how to burn. You're holding the fire, waiting for a target that isn't even there. The only person feeling the heat is you. Open the fist. Let it drop, let the floor take the weight. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal, thinking I can throw it and stay in control. I'm aiming for a heart across the way.
in your hand, cooling down, finally.